We are honored to host today's Industry Readiness Panel discussion here at the iconic Travancore Hall, Technopark, Trivandrum, a place that truly reflects innovation, vision, and future-forward thinking. To formally commence this meaningful event, I invite Mr. Arjun J, ICTAK participant, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Nidish. Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great pleasure and sense of pride that I welcome you all to AspireX, Inspiring Growth and Transformation, a flagship initiative that aims to bridge the gap between academia and the dynamic world of industry. Today's Industry Readiness Panel discussion is not just an event, it is an opportunity to listen, to learn, and to leap forward. We are gathered here in the heart of Technopark, a space that echoes innovation, to interact with thought leaders who have not only navigated their own paths to success, but are also here to illuminate ours. On behalf of ICT Academy of Kerala and my fellow learners, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed keynote speaker and visionary leader, Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO of ICTAK. Our distinguished panelists, Mr. Vinod Narayanan, Ms. Dainu R, Kuruvilla, and Mr. M.S. Sujith Unni. Our moderator of the day, the dynamic Mr. Jishnu Unni. And all the dignitaries, invited guests, faculty, and dear fellow participants. Each one of you brings unique energy to this room, and I believe today's interaction will spark meaningful insights and inspire confident step towards our career aspiration. Let's make the most of this experience, ask questions, engage deeply, and most importantly, stay open to learning and transformation. Once again, welcome to AspireX. Let's begin the journey of growth and possibility together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun, for setting the tone with such warmth and enthusiasm. Now, it's my honor to welcome a leader who has been instrumental in shaping talents and fostering industry academia collaboration, Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO of ICT Academy of Kerala, to deliver the keynote address. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, all. It's indeed my pleasure again to meet all of you, the young, enthusiastic learners and aspiring young professionals. And looking forward to the interactive and I would say immersive interactive experience with the industry leaders. So as we speak, a lot of things are happening in and around Kerala. So this morning, we're having a job fair happening in Chakat, that's specifically for the ITIs. Okay, so roughly about 3,000 odd students have come from various parts of Trivandrum. Okay, so they're looking forward to participating, and around 79 odd employers are coming. They already reached them. Okay, the interviews are happening as we speak. So one of the job ICT is doing is probably you're aware of that what ICT is doing it, but probably some of the things less non-facts I'm trying to share here. So as part of the Kerala Knowledge Economy Mission, we are also playing the role of the demand side program management. What it means is that we are trying to get the employers and the employment opportunity and enabling that to the youth. Okay, and we are playing a catalyst role in enabling and getting the job opportunities enabled to the youth. The job could be in Kerala, could be other parts of India or even abroad. Okay, so roughly about 2 lakh of employment has been facilitated through the Kerala Knowledge Economy Mission, and our team, the ICT Academy team, played a pivotal role in enabling that. So that's one part of that. When you look onto the ICT sector, so we have established about 10 years back with a mission to bridge the skill gap and enhance the employability of the youth. I think we are still fully focused on that mission, and we collaborate with the industry leaders, the companies, the technology companies, the global leaders, the professional organizations, like NASCOMs and other professional bodies in getting what the industry is looking at. And how we can include the specific industry specific requirements as part of our training curriculum, and we have been doing that for about last about now 10 years. So when we design revise the curriculum, we engage collaborate with the industry. So as we speak, the academic sector is going a complete reform. They are getting into the 4-year UG program, and I'm sure that you all would have heard about the new educational policy in NEP 2020 plus the 4-year UG program, right? So what we are doing is that instead of offering it as a add-on course to the students, how can you offer the skill-oriented program which is relevant for the industry, embed that as part of the academic curriculum. So academia will be having the traditional, the learning part plus the skill-oriented programs embedded as part of the academic curriculum. By virtue of taking that, they'll be getting academic credits, plus they also will be getting the skills that is relevant required for the industry, what the industry is looking at it. I think we are working with say multiple universities. So we are currently engaged with the QSAT in designing and formulating some of the curriculum. We worked with quite a few other universities and already offering some of the creatized curriculum as part of the university courses. So I'm sure that this traction will increase in the coming years. So along with that, we see a lot of changes in the technological side. Say AI, the generative, the transformers to the AI to the transformers to the GAN to the generative AI and to all this new agentic AI completely transform the world the way we are doing it. So what we learn today may not be what you are going to use tomorrow. So you might learn some technology and you might use some technologies today, but thing is that a lot of things can be or will be automated by virtue of the technologies, and that we see a reflection of that in the market. Many of the companies are reaping the benefits of these automatic co-pilots have already come into place, and many organizations are already using it. Okay, so what it means is that you certainly need to have a fundamentals. So how do we when you're developing a solution or any technology for that matter, cybersecurity testing or development or data science or AML, you need to understand how you can understand the problem, then what kind of solutions you can design. So that's the kind of skill set still you need. Okay, and all these technologies will help in doing the things much faster. You can get the benefit of that, but still that fundamental skills are still required. Okay, then these technologies will accelerate or improve the way we do the development, the whole development. Okay, so when you learn that, when you get into the companies, I'm sure that you'll be learning be it Python or be it full stack development or be it AML. So you'll be learning a part of the AML, a part of the full stack development. You would have developed some solution. Okay, but when you develop a solution for an enterprise, the complexity, the scale at which we are developing will significantly differ. Okay, so I'm sure that you'll be having more and more learnings when you work with larger complex projects, when you get into the real world in the project. So what you are learning, what you are including as part of the ICT Academy is the glimpses of the getting exposure to the real world scenarios. I'm sure that you all are doing as part of the ICT Academy project work. Those who are into the project work, you are doing some ways or other means, and you are doing some real world projects. You are doing it and getting the results and how you can deploy or implement that. Okay, so those are giving a stepping stone for getting into a strong foundation for the long career. Okay, so these kind of forums, the interaction or engagement with the industry leaders will help you in understanding what's happening on the other side. Okay, getting your queries clarified. Okay, at least some of your queries clarified, and what kind of opportunities are there, and facilitating that the interaction between the aspiring professionals to the industry experts. I think we renamed the term to industry panel discussion to AspireX. This is a session where you are aspiring for a bright, successful career, and this is the platform, this is the forum where you can get an opportunity to interact with the experts. So enjoy, have fun, and looking forward to the exciting session with the experts. Thank you all. Have a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and your continued commitment to empowering the future workforce. And now, the highlight of AspireX, our industry readiness panel discussion. We are privileged to have with us a panel of accomplished professionals who bring vast industry insights and career wisdom. Allow me to introduce our distinguished panelists, Mr. Vinod Narayanan, Human Resource Director at Kayadia Clinical Research, with over 25 years of experience in HR operations, talent development, and leadership training. A certified national trainer with JCI, Mr. Vinod has empowered over 1,500 students and professionals. I request to Mr. Vinod Narayanan sir on the stage. Next, Ms. Dainu R, Kuruvilla, Manager, Learning and Development at Tata Elxsi, a powerhouse of leadership and life skill facilitation with over 2 decades of experience. Her expertise in emotional intelligence, personal branding, and behavioral excellence has been transformative. I request Ms. Dainu R, Kuruvilla ma'am on the stage. And now, Mr. M.S. Sujith Unni, Regional Head, NASCOM, with more than 80 years of experience as the Regional Head of NASCOM in Kerala, the Chief Industry Association for the IT BPM sector in India. He has successful track record of handling skills and competency of SMEs nationally and has spun NASCOM's Kerala region operations since 2011. He is enthusiastic in creating a vigorous IT ecosystem in Kerala, thereby generating more employment opportunities. We welcome you, sir, on the stage. And steering this dynamic conversation is our moderator, Mr. Jishnu Unni, who brings both perspective and poise to today's discussion. We look forward to his engaging facilitation. Let's now begin the panel discussion. Over to you, Mr. Jishnu. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, and as you know, we are here for a panel discussion, AspireX, on navigating career with expert guidance, and we have 3 experts on our panel who brings a wealth of experience in multiple domains like HR, learning and development, and industry policy making, everything. So I hope this discussion will be a great advantage for all of you. And once again, welcome all the panelists. So let's, as we know, we are here to have a discussion on the current trends and opportunities that are available for all the candidates that are here gathered here. So let's start the question. First of all, I wanted to make a formal introduction of all of you from your own perspective. So I think that would be better. Let's start with Ms. Dainu.
I was safe because we gave him the seat of honor, but I guess ladies go first, huh? Thank you so much, Jishnu. My heartfelt gratitude to the ICT Academy. Thank you so much. A wonderful and a very noble venture that you have in creating pathways for the future minds. Well, I am Dainu. My name is Dainu. Very different name. I asked my parents about it. Long story. I've had the privilege of being in the corporate industry for about 22 years now. I consider every moment, every day a privilege because I'm looking at even today being a learning. I believe even a 2-minute interaction with somebody might be something you want to do, you don't want to do, but it's a learning that you pick up. And you never know when you will need that particular learning. And sometimes it takes years for it to make sense. So thank you so much again. I've been in the learning and development field for about 17 years. I started my career by working in a project team, and I'm going to sound very ancient, but when we started off when we started our careers, a lot of the learning that we had was on the job. We made, I hope I speak for all of us when I say we made a lot of bloopers on the job, heard a lot of screamings, saw a lot of real-time impact that happened. And from there, over the years, I've seen how organizations have taken the responsibility to look at, hey, I made a mistake. I'd like you to know this is the mistake I made, or I tried something new, so why don't you try it out? So we've looked at shrinking timelines, automation moving into spaces where we can replace hard work with smart work. Hard learning, which is irreplaceable. You still need to do the hard work, but you also add smart learning along with it. So been very privileged, been in the industry, worked in 5 different organizations. I come from a company called Tata Elxsi. It's a design and technology services company. We're a global service provider there. We work with very powerful OEMs. We've got our hands in we've got it in the automotive, transportation, media, communication. We're experimenting in a lot of fields. So it's been a privilege. Look forward to the conversation today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So,
I'm sorry.
no, you mentioned he's the star of the show. Yes, sir. Sujith, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I represent an organization called NASSCOM. I don't know how many of you might have heard about NASSCOM. In late 80s, there was a time when, hardware is everywhere and software doesn't mean people we can see it. So many of the people doesn't even understand what the software is all about. When those days is when we were asked to go for a meeting, he was talking about, the licensing policies and stuff like that. Then, we don't have a seat in the room. It's we have been taken along with the hardware guys. We never say that we have part of something and there is something called a software being there. So the industry experts are being, the visionaries then there, because the software industry is around 50 billion. So in those days, it's very, very minuscule. So those leaders out there, or those visionaries out there, they put in and say that, this is going to be a separate industry, and this industry is going to lead the world in maybe in 20 years down the line or 10 years down the line. So that sort of visionaries were there, like Ashank Desai or Harish Bhai. All these things put together, maybe 2-3 people put together, and they have made a small association called National Association of Software and Services Companies. So all these 32 years back, now when we look at, it's around 280 plus billion, industry in the country. And we have been seen as the voice of the IT industry in the world. And what we are standing in is for creating the narrative for the IT industry in the country. And we are building in the trust, the innovation quotient of the country. And in terms of employment, we are around 5.8 billion. So that's how the visionaries have put in, and that's how, that's the reason I am able to, stand in before you and talk to you about, what is NASSCOM is all about. So 2 things are actually there in, for the pillar of any IT industry. One is the infrastructure, which you actually see. Those days, it's like, roti, makan, bijli, and then, bandwidth was a long story, long slogan, which has been used by the founders of NASSCOM maybe 30 years back. So that infrastructure is all about is there, but we actually stand in something called the knowledge industry. So we all depend on your knowledge and thought process, and your wisdom makes the industries run. So that is something which NASSCOM has a strong presence in terms of skilling, reskilling, upskilling, all these things. So that is one thing which NASSCOM focus. So we are actually the Sector Skill Council of India, of ITS. And we have something called, again, anything to do with data privacy security, we have the Data Security Council of India. That is also part of NASSCOM. And there is again, every large organization has a foundation wing, so we also have a NASSCOM foundation. So in a nutshell, this is what NASSCOM is all about. And we have different verticals, like as you see, being an IT industry, we have services, we have products, we have gaming as a vertical, we have product companies, we have GCCs, the global captive centers. You all might be aspiring to join any of these GCCs, might be, that is one. So all these things comes in and goes, and technology moves in every maybe earlier it was in years, the technology shift comes in. Now it's being 6 months or even 1 year. Maybe 1 month the things which moves off. Like when you actually look at ChatGPT 4 months back, and now it's like all about things have been changed. So we as NASSCOM, with the support of all the industry leaders out there, we are striving to bring that new technology and what you actually wanted to learn and what the industry needs to be done. All these things are in the pace which we have been trying to help the industry to move to the next level. So that's what we have been doing all this. And we also have startups called 10,000 Startups. We renamed recently as NASCOM Startups. So again, deep tech is something which you guys will be hearing a lot. That is again another vertical where the startups are actually focusing on getting new technology out there. So that's also we have another focus. So in a nutshell, in less than 5 minutes, that is what NASCOM and what we does. And overall, we'll have more engagement when the discussion goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And obviously, Vinod, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, myself Vinod, and I am also in HR for last 25 years, same as you. Now I started in a manufacturing organization and then moved to service industry, and now in IT and ITS. So in IT and ITS, I am around 20 years now in this organization. So, and the journey is very. I mean, we have seen a lot of things like changes in, especially when we are the hiring phase. No, we have seen a lot of changes. Maybe we will discuss in the upcoming session in detail. So first of all, thank you to the ICT Academy for this initiative, because we know that ICT Academy is doing a lot of good things like skilling, upskilling, and making the students ready for the industry, and it's a great job. And I think you are doing a lot of good work to improve the human resources in Kerala. So it's a great job. So thank you, sir, for that one, and also for inviting me to this program. And happy to share with Sujith and Dainu, because Sujith, this name always familiar to me, because always whenever NASCOM name is coming, Sujith Unni name will be there. So today I'm seeing him. Thank you very much. Okay. So now I thought that I will give a brief introduction about my company, because sometimes this will be useful to you, because Tata Elxsi and NASCOM, of course, it is very familiar name to all of you. But my organization is basically, we are into clinical research. Why I am giving this particular presentation, because some of you will be benefited. Some of you may be into the life science or the technology area, where if you select the courses which is beneficial for this particular industry, and you can it will be highly beneficial for you. That's why I'm giving this presentation. So my company's name is Cadia. We are in 20 years now in the industry, and my company is a CRO, Contract Research Organization. So what we do the safety and efficacy study of drugs. We are supporting the pharma company to develop a molecule, develop a drug, and before this drug is put to the public, there are 4 stages of studies are there. These are called safety and efficacy studies, and this is called phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is applying the medicine to the human being, and based on that result, we will be doing the phase 4 study, that is marketing only. So this is a study which is very much required for the generations, because we are actually, our product or whatever the service that we are doing, it is not just for the sponsors. Sponsors means the pharma company. It is for the generation. It is for the human being that we are doing. And it's a very holistic business, and highly regulated business. And the your qualifications, your ability in technological area, and all those will be tested when you are taken to this industry. So as I said, our purpose is to help bringing life-changing therapies to our global community. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, so what we do, I said, safety and efficacy studies, that is what we are doing. Starting from clinical development. Clinical development means developing a drug and, bringing that to the public. That is the clinical development that we do. Clinical operations and delivery. A lot of process is there, a lot of activities are there. Patient recruitment is there, that is the first step. There is only one contract in the world which can be terminated in a minute. That is a contract between a patient and a CRO industry. Because if the patient is finding that this particular drug is not good for my health, they can terminate at any time. So that is what patient recruitment is there, and then monitoring is there. Monitoring means, once the medicine is applied to a person, and a lot of data will be generated, like ECG, or a lot of reactions will be on body. These are the data, and that data is coming back again to our office, our team sitting in the office. They are data management team. So data science has got a lot of opportunity in our company. And so this is clinical development, operations and delivery, regulatory service and surveillance. In any country, if you want to do a particular clinical trials, it's very important that, you should have the permission from the government. Otherwise, you cannot do that. In US, it is FDA. In Europe, it is MHRA. In India, it is, Drug Safety Association. So now we have to get permission from that regulatory body. So we give that service. Globally, we give that service. And finally, data and technology. So we have a lot of opportunity for the data science team and the data management team. Of course, technology is fast changing. Maybe we will discuss in detail that one. So data and technology is also we are doing. And now one thing that, what if you ask me which which branch of engineering or the science that you need to study, because bioinformatics, that is what we are looking for. Bioinformatics students, they have a good opportunity, and SAS, all those statistical related area also we are taking the students. Now this is data, and now we are spread over around 59 countries. We have offices, and now globally, in India. Luckily that we are in Trivandrum, because in Trivandrum, actually the advantage is, we have got a lot of colleges where the programming, statistics is being taught, and we are able to get a lot of students from that area. But of course there are challenges also. But earlier we were having challenges with regard to getting the resources here. But now it is all home based. After the pandemic, we are all home based. We have people working all around the world, sitting from home. So that's it. So this is about my company. I just want to give you an introduction, about my company. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, as part of our panel discussion, we'll be having two segments. First would be where we'll be discussing about the opportunities and trends that are there in the tech industry right now. And the second segment would be about how an individual can navigate through all these opportunities. How can they move ahead? So, yeah. So when we are talking about opportunities, let's start with Sujith, Mr. Sujith. Yes. I think it would be pretty safe to say that the emerging technologies would be AI, cybersecurity, data science, but those are the familiar words for us. But you would be you'd be able to give more insight to what are the other emerging technologies that we would be facing.
Emerging tech, as you rightly said, these are the three which always been in the forefront. Maybe after post-pandemic, these are the three major technologies we really look at. Cybersecurity, cloud is also there. Then IoT can be the other one, which we can definitely look at. Then when we look at sectoral things also happening, and when we look at the GCCs and other companies, that sort of a company is growing in. GCCs means not the countries, it's the global captive companies. In India, that is we are actually in a place where this is a rise of GCCs are happening in. So if you look at, we have around some 1,800 plus GCC companies. I'll relate to what I'm trying to mean. It's like Alliance Cornhill, you might have heard about Alliance Technologies. They are a GCC. So the definition of GCC is like, a company who have a backend in India. They have a larger MNC, they have a backend in India, and they are doing something which is very technology focused and very unique and innovative in terms of high-end tech kind of a thing, not something which is on a BPM kind of a job. So I'm not talking about BPM is a lower level kind of a thing, but this is more a higher tech kind of a thing. So that sort of the companies we call, they don't have any other domestic clients or something. They will be only dealing with their parent company. So those are the GCCs. So if you look at, we have around some 1,800 plus GCC companies in the country as of now. and they have multiple offices. So in India, we have around some 2,995 plus company plus offices they have. Like they have one parent company in Hyderabad. They will be having a subsequent company. There's another office in Kochi or Trivandrum, kind of a second office kind of a thing. So that much they are growing, and we have India is hosting around 45% of global GCCs. So every state you look at, every state government is actually behind GCC companies to come and set up their offices in every state. So when we actually deep dive into these GCCs, as Sir was rightly talking about, they are into health tech, they are into fintech, they are into edutech. All these tech verticals are there. So one thing you can focus is like either you should have a domain expertise, like how I said, retail can be the other one. So you can grab one particular domain, making as an expertise, and building a layer of technology where you actually wanted to get into that particular domain. See, for example, if you look at retail as an example, so then Magento can be one one technology stack which you need to have a deep dive. You need to learn more, and then that will enable you to work with companies like Lipna 7 or something, or maybe a company like Wins Online. All these companies will have retail as their customers. So that's how it should look at. So like job roles are different, like I actually said, these are the technology wise, these are the list of technology you can see. Also you can find these technology stack in NASSCOM's Future Skills Prime kind of platforms where these things have been listed, and related courses are also being listed, where you can find a job related learning kind of a thing is also being there. So these are, others also need to speak, so being the positive of time, so I'll stop here. Probably if you have any such doubts or when the Q&A happens, then I can put in more details if needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good question. Like, what are the emerging technology? So, technically speaking, I'm a non-technical person, so so may not be able to suggest exactly. But again, some of the technology that is emerging in my company or my industry where I belong to, so that very even 3 years before we were having an initiative called Clarity Stack, but it vanished now. It is not there now. So one thing which is now emerging, it is not even named now, because it's all in a very early stage. When you are asking about the emerging technology, it's very much emerging now. It's very early stage. So that is called Clarity Studio, which is happening in my organization. So what is Clarity Studio? Clarity Studio is highly connected with the AI. So now what happens is, earlier we used to have a person, maybe many entry level team were doing a lot of activities related to the data management and all those things. But what I heard is, when this Clarity Studio is coming up, we will get the analysis without the human intervention. What the human need to do is that just to see that whether it relate with all the all the expectations, with whether it meets the expectation and those kind of things. So this is something which emerging in the CRO industry. But again, I'm telling, this Clarity Studio, you may not get this when you are Googling, you may not get, because this is something that we are developing. So this is an example I am giving. So this kind of technology is emerging, and of course, a lot of things are coming up like this. So may not be able to exactly suggest what is the technology that emerging, but one thing only, if you look at the AI also, a lot of emerging things are coming up. Okay, so one thing what I will tell you to the students is that learn prompt engineering. That is something very simple. Let us not look into that, all those things. Learn prompt engineering. So if you are learning the prompt engineering, it would be very easy for you. The slide which I have shown you now, my colleague has taken just 10 minutes to develop that. Just 10 minutes, even less than. All reviews and everything, everything was completed within less than 15 minutes. So that's it. So she knows the prompt engineering. I may not be able to do that because she knows the prompt engineering very well. So one thing that emerging, maybe I'll say that, prompt engineering, it's very, as I said, I'm not a technical person. From a HR perspective, I'm telling, prompt engineering, learn that one, emerging.
Since you already have one non-technical person who gave wonderful details, do you need me to as well?
No, if you have anything to contribute.
Actually, I believe the experts spoken it all, but maybe from the company perspective, AI is definitely taking the front seat. I've seen cloud computing taking a lot of weightage. DevOps is something that people have been focusing on. But I'm probably agreeing with Vinod. You just can't put a finger on something that it's going to boom on for a long time. I believe something we can look forward to is keep pace with the trends happening right away. It might change tomorrow. AI is definitely there, but it again needs to be used wisely, is all I'm going to say. And I think we'll delve into it deeper later, right?
Yeah. So as you rightly mentioned, like there are the demands themselves are shifting. So would you be able to point out like certain top skills which people have to be focused on, like to keep up with this shifting demands?
Absolutely. I could start off with one, awareness. We've been advertising. I'm going to move a little into the HR area a little. For a couple of years now, it's actually been in the market. It's been in the global industry. We've been talking about diversity. We've been talking about equity. We talk about inclusion. And I'm afraid sometimes we get tunnel vision there. Diversity, what's the diverse thing you can think of? India, Kerala, we're going to think gender diversity. It doesn't stop there. Diversity is so many things. You go into another country, suddenly you realize minority could be a diversity, and you need to have inclusion there. So I've got a magic moment here. I'm going to tell you what the secret is. Diversity and inclusion also for the next generation needs to be thinking of the other generations before them. I have found that collaboration is amazing. We need to learn, in fact, from Gen Z. By the way, Gen Z, watch out. The next generation, Alpha, is coming up. A very, very advanced model. Very recently, I like to just try experimenting. So I tried meeting a couple of very vibrant youngsters, 8th standard to 12th standard. My goodness, I was lost. I was floored. And I said, watch out, Gen Z, because until now, Gen Z has been the caption. It's been the headline everywhere. But you're nothing compared to the Gen Alpha coming in. So something I've been telling our leaders to learn from your generation is you collaborate so well. If you have a requirement, you forget the country, you just go online. Hey, dude, I need help. So there's no gender there, there's no color there, there's nothing there. Even language is not a problem. We collaborate, you guys collaborate so well that we need to learn from you there. We belong to, I think, a generation of specialization and competition. We thrived on that. But our inhibition, I felt, was we don't collaborate. The limiting factor here is when you collaborate, the collaboration stops at one generation. And that's a very limiting factor. So the diversity inclusion, if they can look at the generations, the different generations. Right now we're going through this strange phenomenon where you've got all the 5 generations at work. We've got silent generation, you've got the baby boomers. So you might find the style of delivery, feedback given, or the lessons you pick up might be from a story. But the most important thing is to understand that it doesn't come at the push of the button. You may have a magic pill there somewhere. So that inclusion can be one skill. I know I made a whole round about it, but that's very important. Understanding how different generations function is a very good skill. Active listening. Here I'm going to go a little cultural. Culturally, we are taught to sit and listen, like you're sitting so nicely and listening to us, very passively. The problem with that is the speaker thinks you're agreeing. However, you may not have even comprehended. Real life scenario in many organizations we see is when you don't participate, when you don't ask a question, when you don't listen to understand, and when you don't confirm your understanding, we put in a lot of hard work. And then suddenly the person says, that's not what I asked for. It could be a customer scenario, it could be a stakeholder scenario. And then that person becomes tough to us. Whereas if you can bring in the element of your contribution, you can start with an acknowledgement. That's a great point, Dainu, but I have a point to make. I'd like to add a point, or I have a question. When you contribute, you're doing two things for yourself. One, you're showing the person that you're present, which is very important when you're looking at getting hired. The second thing is you are actually confirming your understanding. It's a platform for a wonderful discussion. So I'd say active listening, inclusion from the other generations too, that would definitely help. Emotional intelligence, that's all very trending. It's not just a buzzword, it's mandatory, especially after the pandemic. You have no idea what the other person is going through, and age has nothing to do with it. You cannot paint a picture or a canvas behind that person sitting next to you. So being emotionally intelligent, being there for them, influencing them goes a long way. Right, and I'll pass it on.
I just want to add to one thing, which is data. Post-pandemic and things have changed. I mean, you might have heard data is the new oil, all these things are there, but where it actually applies. So if I might be an HR person, but there are a lot of data in terms of, what was my individual contribution or how much I am actually contributing to the organization, to the business. So we can't shy away from certain things where, these data are being captured. So all our things, when AI comes in, we can easily get a dashboard on our performance, on our daily basis, on many things. So that data will reflect in the business. So being a learner, being a newcomer, we are just starting contributing to an organization. You should be aware that, these data things are there. So that can be thrown back to you anytime. So you need to be conscious enough in terms of, helping the businesses to grow rather than just doing your 9-to-5 job and then, moving out. That is one. Then, as rightly they were saying about the collaboration, it is not just a functional thing which you actually do in an organization. See, for example, in my job, I cannot say that I'll be only looking at, getting government relations or maybe a couple of things from, skilling kind of a thing, which is not my job. Maybe I can just make a small connect, that's it. But ownership actually lies, it's actually, there are cross-functional things are there. If you really wanted to, grow in your organization, you need to work collaboratively with your team members and then, effectively put it across so that the end results the organization gains. So that is something when you actually, takes your learnings across. That is one thing which I want to, talk about. Another thing is the networking, which I can, I don't know how far you have been in all your professional, LinkedIn's and other things. Maybe you should look at, depends on your tech knowledge spec. You should be in AWS group or maybe the Google GDG group, Kerala, or maybe India, that sort of a things. So that sort of a physical networking, that emotional connection she was talking about, which is still there. We cannot say that all something AI can't take it across. As of now, might be that emotional connect and the friendship and network which you have been building in. So try to use that and try to speak with people and, be in the Microsoft has something, then, the Slack has something. So register in these online as well as offline groups and start building your peer group networks out there. So many of us are still being relevant because of the network connects which we have. Otherwise, it's all these things can be done or taken across by AI or somebody else. But the amount of contact which we have with ICT Academy for the last maybe 10-12 years when it has been moved in. So that's sort of physical connect which the personal connect which we have with the CEO of ICT Academy, that brings me here to talk to you today. So these things are actually happening in. So apart from your other learnings, you start building your networking skills as well. Yeah, thank you.
So, Vinod sir, Kaidia is a multinational organization, as you pointed out, and the pandemic made almost everything normalized, and everybody was forced to, accelerate in terms of their digital sector. So, has this changed the hiring trends in multinational organizations? Again, first we'll start with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Very, very good question. Actually, you said no, the pandemic situation is normalized. Everything it is abnormalized actually, because the way we were recruiting. I think in HR, the first change happened in recruiting only. So whatever happens in HR, first it touches recruiting. Now AI has come in. First, we are applying the AI in recruitment for sourcing the CV. And so recruiting is the first thing that is changed. Hiring has changed a lot. We were having a lot of like face-to-face interview was compulsory. In the when I started recruiting. Now I am not doing that. My talent acquisition team is doing that. So the face-to-face interview was very much important, and the people used to travel from Mumbai, Hyderabad to Trivandrum and stay here in the hotel for 2 days, and then attending the interview, and then I fail in the interview, and then going back, So all those things were happening, and of course, face-to-face interview has got its own merits. I would appreciate that a lot of things can be gauged, which is not evident in the online interviews. But now this is the area got a lot of changes. So maybe now we are doing the online interviews. We have the technical devices for that one. Maybe so we were having a platform for that one. Now it is very simple. Even WhatsApp interviews are also possible now. Of course, I will not suggest that. We have Teams and many things are there. Now it is very easy to have a online interview. But the online assessment are also there. That all those things were happening earlier, offline, and they have to come to the office, and also they were doing that one. And several, this is the major change that has happened in the hiring area. Now, you being a upcoming candidates for several jobs, what you have to prepare is that your interview skills through the online interview skills you have to develop. Sometimes the questions it is coming, it may be giving just 10 minutes time. You have to finish all those questions at the given time. So you have to be very speed enough. You should be aware about the how the questions should be answered. All those skills you should learn. And how to appear before, it will be a video call always, and at that time, how should be the appearance. Sometimes this is another challenge that we have faced. This is not about the upcoming students, the experienced candidates. When they are entering, they are appearing for the interviews. What they will object to appear before the video. But this has caused a lot of challenges. Somebody else will be answering the questions. We don't know we have to capture the picture of the person at the time of interview. So this is a challenge which we faced when we moved to the video interviews. But if you are telling any employer that I will not be appearing before the video for a video interview, it won't be possible for you. So how it can be improved, how your appearance would be, how your voice modulation and all those things. And when you are attending an interview, I have experienced this one. When you are appearing for an interview, please don't attend an interview standing on a street, okay? Please don't do that. All the ambulance going, all the the motorcycle going, all those I will experience here. So what shows that you are not serious about the interview. So you have to sit in a very quiet place and ensure that the service provider, that's most important, it's have connectivity there, signal is there, it's working, everything is okay, fine, and you are free from all the disturbance. So do that, and don't fake, we will catch up that one. So that's very important. So this is a major change that happened in recruitment, hiring area. So people have to prepare for that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, in fact, it brought a lot of memories from the pandemic, because after recruitment happens, voila, you are in training. And you've probably done enough online classes to know what happens when you have an online session. And again, cameras, a lot of issues could be genuine. Networks don't work. So you have people in the market. In fact, I have a real life blooper without revealing the rest of the aspects. I can tell you something that actually happened to me. We had done a bulk hire and about close to 200 students were in one of our training platforms, and one of them accidentally had the mic on. You know, when you're at home, you have your parents walking by feeling proud and you got your first job. Poor chap, his mother asked him in Malayalam whether it started. And he replied in Malayalam, it's about to start. They're going to kill us for another 4 hours. Unfortunately for him, the rest of the 169 students heard it from different locations, please note. And I did the honor, because I'm very nice that way, I translated it for the rest of the students and kind of made it very popular. Of course, we caught up later. It was real fun in the moment. But when it's an interview and it's a hiring process, the entire chemistry changes. If you're not serious about how, in fact, because of this is something I believe all companies faced. When we moved online, we kind of crossed some ethical lines, not us, in fact, the other side. We felt a lot of ethical boundaries being crossed. Somebody would answer in interviews and, you end up hiring somebody else who didn't know anything about it. So let's say, for example, Jishnu, you come in for an interview. You're not looking at the phone. You have no other resources. So I can actually look at you, gauge it. Even if you don't know, are you making an attempt? Are you willing? Are you present there? And I'm making that assessment, which was very effective, by the way. I still go by the personal interviews. It helps. It's very fair to the candidate as well. But then when we shifted online, whatever you had to do with that appearance, which would give you a lot of points, vanished. So you had to compensate for it by speaking, and I speak for all of you, including me. When we went online, we decided not to speak too much. There's a huge reluctance when you're not in a room and you're not facing the person. So that became a challenge. 2, yes, there was cause for mistrust on both sides. And 3, if the camera is not on, the recruiter finds it very difficult to gauge the presence of mind, a lot of willingness. But we made changes. We shifted, all organizations shifted their modus operandi immediately. So if I'm asking you maybe something about what do you think about emotional intelligence, sitting in front of me, you don't have a resource. So you have to tell me what you think about it. But when you're doing this online, I know for a fact you're going to give me beautiful sentences. I might be gauging your communication, but that's already corrupted because you're looking at ChatGPT. You're looking at Copilot to give me a correct answer. Even a coding answer, if it's a textbook question, you're already doing it. I mean, anybody would do it because you've got the resources. So companies shifted, and now it's still happening because it worked well during the pandemic. Now, I believe a lot of recruiting questions have moved on to real-based scenarios. You won't get a question from me on what is the definition of emotional intelligence. I'm going to give you a scenario. So Jishnu, let's say you're coming into a company as, say, a trainer. I'm going to say, so you've got one problem employee who doesn't want to be trained. He's been having trouble at home, but he has to be trained because he needs to be sent to another country. Go. Which means you're given a real scenario. And the same thing has happened in the technical field as well. It's not a normal definition university question anymore. Companies are using a lot of sophisticated tools. There are proctored tools that they use, a lot of paid tools, software that's used in gauging. Of course, there's always a way out, but still, these are trends that are right now, in my knowledge, moving ahead as well.
Let me add 2 things post-pandemic. So from an employee perspective, that is actually good. So earlier you don't have an opportunity, you can only have an opportunity with one company, or maybe you never had a chance to have a hybrid working option. So now if you look at LinkedIn everywhere, either it can be full-time or it can be hybrid. So you, as an employee, we are actually getting a secondary option. So you have that option in terms of hybrid. Earlier that was not there. Even SMEs were not even thought of giving work from home kind of a scenario. And during the pandemic, being NASCOM, we have struggled a lot because almost 30 odd rules, I mean, the regulations have been changed to get the SEZ modes have been changed to get somebody to go and work from home. So that is one. Second thing, gig workforce. Earlier, we are not, used to that gigging or something like that. So there is a gig working options are there. There are platforms are there where you can, put across your talent and, game starting. If at all you are free at times, or I'm not talking about, you need a moonlighting or you do moonlighting or something. So certain SME companies, they will have a proper channel where their productivity can be measured. At the same time, they will allow you to work for another gig option as well, which is a double time, payment for you. So it's like something which you can definitely make use of. So, and again, companies at the other side, they used to have a formal written kind of an examination where all these things have been moved out. Or coding skills, normally you need to do a live coding also is part of the interviews now. So that also can be done just across the system which we can do. So being an employer, you have a lot of options now post-pandemic. So make use of this as an opportunity and be transparent to your existing company or somewhere you're joining and say that, I have an option. Why don't you allow me? If that is not contradicting with their existing clients or something, they will allow you. So it makes you more money and, makes more time and effort of your, the life. So it's simple.
I think we already moved to the other segment where we'll be navigating through the career, even though we were discussing about current trends. So, Sujith, what would be the common mistakes that you might have seen the freshers or the entry-level candidates make while they're at job search or, let's say, starting a job?
First of all, they don't enroll to start with. Many of the things, you feel like, this may not be a thing. So that is one. Second thing, you may feel like, people like me, there will be, 100 other or 1,000 other people will be, applying for that. So why should I do? That is one stigma. Maybe for the second round of interview from the 1,000, only if, they have been asked you to make a small presentation or maybe a PPT or something, or maybe a small assignment to come back. Maybe that from the 1,000 to it may drill down to 50 or something. So you may be skipping that opportunity of not replying, prompting back to that, recruiter again. That is something. The common other thing is like, you will send across resumes flying across with all the emails and all the things across. That also don't suffice you. That won't take you anywhere. So you should. And the other common thing, when I was actually looking at somebody to be there in recruiting recently for the Trivandrum office now. So the problem is people will never go through the complete JD. So they will have a first paragraph of the something only they will read. The rest of the thing they will not go through and understand what is the business which the company is into. And you may not go deeply into the websites of the company where you're actually going for an interview and find out which are the unique things and where I can value add. You are not actually seeking something for, just seeking for a job, rather than you should think like, where can I value add, where can I contribute? If that sort of a thoughts comes to your mind after going through the JD, after going through the websites, then there is always an edge for you. You will actually come up with shining lights out that, because you have done some research and the interviewer also feel happy about you have put in that effort. So that is one is showing on. It's like you need to be there, and then you need to prepare yourself before going there. Don't take it light. That's another request. It's like you was rightly suggesting, don't take the interviews on the road or maybe sitting in and take it lightly. Kind of it's an insult for the other side of the person who have been putting their time and the business time they have been putting in before you. So you should value that. So these are the common things which I have seen. It's like maybe they are the people who have been running through all the resumes all these years. So they might be having other things to say. Thank you.
What are the common mistakes? I was just asking this question to our talent acquisition team before coming for this meeting. what are the common mistakes? I'm not doing this talent acquisition for a long time, but they said some of the things which I experienced when I was doing the talent. So it is same now. There is no change. So the common mistakes. One is a lack of vision in the CV. Because when you are looking at the CV, your CV should say that what you are really looking for. That's starting from the CV, you should be very serious about your vision, what you are looking for, about your role, about your job and all those things. What happens is, now it is AI is there. Please don't try to develop a CV with the help of AI. You can take the help of AI anywhere, but when you are creating a CV of your own, please don't do that, because AI will tell you that you are a great team player, where you may be a lot of things to learn there, because that may not be your skill. You may be a highly technical person. You have to highlight that factor there. I am a technical person, which AI may not recognize. Maybe some tool may come up in future. So what I'm telling is, look at what is your strength, highlight that one. Let us not put the weakness there in the CV now. Maybe in the interview you can tell that. So that is the first common mistake that I have experienced. Very simply telling, another common mistake which I have seen, again that is same now also, the time management. If you say that I'm coming, your interview time is 10:30, so you be there, at least 10 minutes before. This is a very simple thing which I have experienced. I have an example that a person was rejected for being late, not by me. I wanted to take that person, but the senior director said that no, since they were not keeping the time, this may be the same thing that is happening in the future also, so in the career also. So these are some of the. So be serious about what you are telling, what you are writing, and what you are telling in the interview. So this can be correlated. That is a common mistake which I found here. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Jishnu, confirming my understanding, is it during the recruiting or while they're waiting? I'm sorry, I think I went off track there.
It can be both. You can give both perspective, because you would be knowing more about like what happens after training.
Right. In which case, because we've heard both the perspectives during the recruitment process, there probably is a gap when you're waiting and you just completed something. So there's a wonderful sense of accomplishment. I've completed something, I got my certificate, or I'm waiting. The waiting period is very crucial, because it's like you've learned, sometimes you've done the real thing, but most of the time it's like learning how to swim by reading the book. You've picked up the theory, you know how the strokes go, and but you haven't practiced it. So that's one thing. If you can find a way, it could be maybe just as an apprentice somewhere, doing an internship somewhere, but it's very important to ensure that what you picked up is something you're able to do. Because after that, what happens is what Vinod was talking about. In the interview, if you claim to have a particular skill, now the interview process has become more sophisticated, where they'll ask you to prove it. You'll probably need to demonstrate that. So practicing a couple of skills that you have specialized in, or something that you've been working on, even if it's basic programming language, ensuring that you haven't lost that touch is very important. Second thing is waiting for the perfect role. We never had that choice, Believe me, my parents told me, go, figure, pick up, learn, doesn't matter what you have to do. Of course, it's very important to understand what you like and pick up that skill and specialize on it, but there's going to be a gap. So when that gap happens, pick them as they come by, work on different elements. I'm going to recommend, actually it's a very strong recommendation, work on your soft skills as well. Soft skills, for those of you who don't know, are non-technical skills, right? Learn how to write an email. Thinking ChatGPT can help, bad idea, real experience. If you write an email in a rude tone, because you didn't know, so you're just saying something very abruptly, Could be because you're translating from the regional language to English and you give it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT turns it even worse. It's worse. It uses wonderful language to be more rude. So work on the tone. Look at scenarios. A lot of stuff is available online these days. I'm going to try an experiment. I'm just going to show this to people. Can you see this? Can you see the caption? Have you seen this anywhere? Have you seen this anywhere? Probably Netflix long time ago. Friends. Yes, somebody said Friends. It's actually a punchline from Friends. See, they know, I told you. Very updated. It's from a series called Friends. It's an evergreen series from the 90s. Yeah, 90s. But it's still something people like. Since you are watching stuff and you can pick up signals like that, it's a visual trigger, right? I'll be there for you. It's their punchline song. Go online, pick up a 2-minute video. See how to write an email to a very angry parent. Try writing to a recruiter who's disappointed that you were on the road when you took the interview. Practice skills on writing emails and you will realize that I understand, I appreciate. Very simple language works its magic. So work on email writing, pick up bloopers and real videos on how to attend an interview online. And once you're in a job, imagine somebody who doesn't talk to you. Maybe because the person feels, okay, you're the opposite gender, you're shy. How do you break the ice? How can you break the ice with them? And how do you make sure you don't cross boundaries? Don't ask the wrong question. Don't ask, are you single? Where are you staying? Wrong questions together, by the way. So how do you talk to people without breaking boundaries? All of these. Lots of elements can be picked up online. Just search for videos. Come to mentors who are already there for you. Talk to them and find out what else you can upskill yourself on. Because all of these are on the way to picking up the job. Right.
Ma'am, you rightly mentioned about internships and practicing whatever we learn, we need to put into a useful product or a useful platform. Somewhere we'll be able to show it off. Okay. That I know about this. I didn't just learn by the book how to film. I actually know how to film. This is a video, something like that. Yeah. So how important is, like you mentioned, internships and things like that for a fresher? And similarly, for an experienced candidate, like, staying current with the trend, at the moment, the trend is basically AI and data science and all those things. And let me combine both these questions so that it will be beneficial for both people who are at the entry level and people who already have experience. So how important is that, like having an internship and staying current with certifications and things like that?
A brilliant question, Jishnu. In fact, both are correlated. One, if you are in an internship with a company that's already sourcing, all companies want to know what's happening in the market. So I believe with one, the other will be achieved. Keeping pace with the trends happening in the market, very important. How important is it? Well, you have a lot of educated, well-qualified people if you look at any state. But if I had to choose a person, I'm going to go by somebody who demonstrates it to me without a lot of hard work, because companies don't have time. We're like saying, we need help and we needed it yesterday. I want an expert, somebody who's willing. It's not that, jobs are not available, but if there's somebody who's done an internship and shows me, this is what I did, and these are some challenges I faced, and that's where probably your comment about not using ChatGPT for the resume comes in. These were real challenges. This is how I overcame them. This is the advice I picked up from my team, because that team player aspect comes in, whether you want it or not. For instance, if you had some students here coordinate this event with you, some brilliant gentlemen who came in, they already had some bloopers here. They laughed, they smiled, and they said sorry immediately. So you're preparing, you didn't prepare today, you started preparing a long time ago. You assigned roles to people and you were deciding, should we ask them to come this way or that way? And you had a discussion. No, we probably should call Dainu first. No, let's call the senior first or the junior first. It doesn't matter. So you took a decision and you listened to people, and then you executed something, and something went wrong, something went well, and in the end we sit together Any project, consider that this is actually a sample project. You sit together and look at, okay, what went well? Let's look at the recording. I shouldn't have smiled that much. Maybe I should have looked at that side. There are so many things you can pick up as feedback, talking to people, understanding. And by the way, those of you who attended, over there, immediately you're picking up willingness. On your resume, you can always say co-hosted the ICT event, the panel of experts on Aspire. So it's such a beautiful line that you gave there. In fact, I wrote it down, the aspiring. And there was a line, what's your name? Nitish, right? You spoke in the beginning where innovation meets inspiration and creates action. I didn't pick up the rest, but then it was so nice. So I'm sure it's not just at the moment, but you try it multiple times, wake you up in your sleep, you will do that line. So the more you do this in internship, the more you pick up opportunities. We call it autopilot excellence. We call it autopilot excellence. Autopilot excellence is you've picked up a skill, you do it so well so many times that even when you don't have the mood for it, when something's happening in the background, you walk in, let's say you just had a fight with a sibling or you had an argument, but you're back on the stage and you're smiling and hello everybody, and that greeting happens. So autopilot excellence happens in internship, whether it's through technical skills, you make bloopers, you might be asked why you didn't ask for a review before you sent out a real mail, but internships play a very important role because you get to take real decisions, you see what happens, and you see the leaders in action, how they collaborate, how they combine, how they give you feedback. Oh, that's another wonderful experience. You won't get feedback in a platter. Different people give you feedback different ways, whereas we expect it in one particular format. So that's a great experience, and that adds to it. Keeping pace with the trends in the market, again, very important because it's very easy to get outdated. Now, I come with behavioral training experience. If I decide this is enough, I have enough. I can just do the same job over and over. I just told you, you're coming in with new skills. If I'm not updated, it's just going to take 5 minutes for the Gen Z to say, that's very old style, very boring. And we live in a world where everything is rated like Swiggy is rated. You get to give a 5-star rating everywhere. People can give opinions. Should you care about all other things? Not really, but it is important to showcase yourself as up to the trends in the market. All right, may I? Yes, absolutely.
Internship, okay. So internship is very much important because it is important to update yourself and getting the practical knowledge from the companies and guidance from the seniors, and all those things are very good. But how we can move beyond internship? Now I'll take what Dainu said earlier about DIE initiatives. Okay. All the companies are having DIE initiatives now. But do you have a DIE mindset? That is something you have to learn before you are entering into the corporate world. Even after that also. How we can do that? I'm looking for something beyond internship. What I am telling is, if you want to really learn you will understand what is the DIE mindset or build up the DIE mindset, you have to associate with everyone, right? In that way, ICT Academy, like organizations, are doing a great job by getting associated with many, industries and all. But how we can really do this? Internship is not just for 3 months or maybe 6 months it is doing. But I'm thinking about something program which we can do, like associate with some of the initiative, maybe some CSR initiatives an organization is having. Go there and participate with senior leaders. Senior leaders will be coming there, or the managers will be coming there from the company. So you are getting an opportunity to associate with them. You are slowly building up a DIE mindset. When you are entering into the organization, as he said, go to the senior, or my role is limited here. So that boundaries we have to remove. That boundary you have to remove. So how we can do that? You associate with this kind of projects. And also there are organizations like PMI, Project Management Institute. Okay, so you be with that organization. I am also associated with another organization called NIPM, which is for the HR professionals. We organize a lot of programs, associate with them. I have seen that the students are organizing wonderful program for the NIPM, like students related programs. So what happens, you are getting a knowledge how the budget, there is how you can manage the budget, how you can manage the crowd and all those things. So you are slowly developing a DIE mindset. So once you are getting into the corporate world, there is no inhibition in you. Maybe this is something that, I think, ICT Academy or an organization like us, I am also ready to participate in that. So to be, develop that mindset, that's very important. Okay, so thank you.
There are online options also available for internship. I don't know how far you might be knowing. And one option is like, work with, you are in the right place like an ICT Academy where they have a set of industry academia connect. Because I came from an industry association, so we used to get a lot of requests for students, because in June, this next 2-3 weeks are something which always students look for internship. So we used to get a lot of requests for that. But honestly, what happens is like, this is just like a tick box which you look at. I mean, I just need to be there for 2 weeks, or maybe I show my face and then, I'll go to Lulu or I will go to somewhere and then come back and, finish it up, just get a certificate, that's it. So that's one of the challenge where companies are reluctant to give you, internship. That is one. Online options are there, as I said, our own NASCOM sites also will give you options where you need to study a particular course and then enroll into that. And now ASIT is approving that, right? So it's like online internships are there. Otherwise, how you should look at it is like, you should figure out 1 or 2 companies where what is their customers actually does, rather than just sending a mail saying that a one-liner saying that, this is just I just need from this window to this window, I would love to do a internship with your company, kindly help. So that is not the way you should work at. If you're actually looking at, working with, if you are a biology student or something, then if you're looking at his company as an option, figure out something where you can add value add, or you can learn from that company in terms of clinical research or something. That couple of words comes in, then obviously he will be interested, or at least you have made some time and energy to go through the site and understand this is what they are looking at. Then there is obviously a chance for getting you inside. Otherwise, from a company's perspective, what happens is there has to be an employee out there who should guide you for the next 1 month at least. So their cost of opportunity cost and their cost of building, everything is actually affected just getting you inside. They can't get you stand in for all the day. You need to have a system. You need to have you need to have a seat over there. All these things are there. So, and a working employee's time is also deploying on you for the next couple of weeks. So that cost is actually there. It's not just something just free. They are putting that time, that is money out there, so that they're building money. So you need to be conscious enough, when you actually reach out for, you need to be serious enough, a little bit more of serious enough in terms of, applying for apprenticeship, internship. Apprenticeship is a different thing. So that comes in, then obviously you will get a chance to get noticed, or getting a feedback from the company saying that, we would love to have you in. So that's a common mistake again, coming back to your while you attend for interview. This is again a common mistake which we used to see a lot, where you just send a mail and seeing that I have sent a mail, this is just the opposite guy. You look at the company's responsibility to give us internship. So that is not the way it works. Thank you.
Let's open it to Q&A. Okay, the floor is open to questions from candidates. Please use the mic in front of you. There will be a button, you can press it and speak.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Sir, I have a question. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Rohit. So I have a question. As Sujith sir earlier pointed out that GCCs. So could you just point out the difference between a GCC and a software company that works here in Technopark?
GCC is global. Earlier, we used to see it as a captive. That was the word long back. So GCC is the word which is being coined by NASCOM and Zinov. Zinov is again a research organization. We put together, made it as a more receptive kind of a word, making that global capability centers. So the primary difference between a capability center and a normal IT services companies is like IT services companies will have multiple clients. They will have domestic clients. They may not have a domestic client. They will have in overseas. They will have multiple clients. So a company having that multiple clients and also having multiple locations across the world is an MNC. So apart from GCC will only have a single client. Like the Alliance, if you look at their assurance team, will have an office in Germany, and their entire backend, which is more on technology related thing, is happening in Trivandrum. So they do.
My company is an example of GCC.
Then they don't.
We have only
One parent company where they only work for them. So the difference in terms of technology wise, actually, as an employer, you look at a services companies and the GCC companies, like you will have a more deep tech kind of a knowledge base needs to be there, and also your contribution to the company is much more in terms of technology, because while you actually move across the curve, your learnings is also more than that, rather than you won't be just doing a Python across Python or maybe a mainframe which is at more than my age, it can be looked at just like that. So that things will change, and it will be more like a product oriented, maybe a product oriented kind of a environment also can be there, so that your work style, culture, everything is different compared to a as an employer perspective. That's a difference between a GC working in a GCC and a non IT services company. But many of the cases it will be looked at like IBM or maybe these companies as a GCC. No, they are not. Even you look at EY GDS is a GCC and EY India is a non-GCC. That's the difference. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. And also, madam, another question I want to point out. Madam, earlier you mentioned about some of the interview skills. So, as a HR leader, so when you interview a candidate, what's the important thing that you look for? Is that whether the candidate's prospects, in the prospects, what's the important thing that you look out?
Sorry, once again, your name, please?
My name is Rohit.
Rohit. A brilliant question. I believe from the HR recruitment perspective, I'll probably ask Vinod as well for some insights. But generally, from an interview perspective, there was a time when we would look at technical expertise. I'm not saying it's not required, it's mandatory. That's one potential why you would be hired. But in addition to that, generally organizations, particularly mine, would look for curiosity. Are you just going to come, especially after the pandemic, are you going to come at 10 o'clock and leave at 4? Are you looking at an easy going job? Or are you willing to take the extra mile? So it's not a crime not to know things, but there's definitely going to be a question on how curious are you? For instance, I mean, this is something we have all done, but I'm going to say it again. If you're attending an interview on Tata Elxsi, what do you think is the first thing you should do?
First of all, I have a basic awareness of that company.
Absolutely. There's no rocket science there actually, but you should go into the website. Look at what the company does. And today's websites are very, very advanced. You know what's happening. Have they gotten any compliments? What are the awards? So don't get stuck at just the mission and vision. It helps. But are you able to bring in value? And you could place your project that you did according to what's important to the company. We are built on 6 values. The first one is called agility. So when we talk about agility, how quick are you in taking decisions? Are you able to work with ambiguity? Can you ask the right question? So one mandatory skill I'd say is curiosity, willingness to learn and willingness to move between sectors. So another limiting factor, somebody with experience or even without, Rohit, what happens is I picked up Python and I've been working in one industry. Now I don't want to move. That's a problem. Companies want people who are agile, who want to move between sectors, who are willing to be trained. So that is a skill that companies will look at. Curiosity, proactiveness. There are buzzwords that are used in the resumes, but if you can prove it in the interview, and most importantly, being genuine to who you are. This goes above the other standards of the first impressions, arriving on time, cell phones on silent mode, taking notes, listening to them. That's all the usual. But above the usual, what people would want is a curiosity and authenticity about you, and with real examples. Are you listening to the person? Are you conversing? Right? Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
2 points I would like to add this one. So these are all things which we are looking for. 2 things. One is adaptability. Adaptability. How you are adaptable to a situation. That is one thing. And second is connected to curiosity. See, now we will definitely look for how good you are in learning. How good you are in unlearning and how good you are in learning. Now a new term which may be like, it is not fast learning. Let us don't say fast learning, smart learning. Are you able to do this smart learning? Maybe these are the 2 additional things which we look for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a question towards Vinod sir. So the kind of specific roles you mentioned, like bioinformaticians or computational biologists, do you require people who have done degrees in those same discipline? Because in tech in general, nobody really cares about, like if you are looking for a Python developer or A or ML job, you can come from different streams. But the specific roles you mentioned, because it is related to healthcare.
Yes, we look for people from the bioinformatics, and those who have bioinformatics plus SAS. SAS specialist people also we are taking as freshers. And then data science is now very important. So data management and data sciences that we are looking for. Yeah, definitely we are looking for students. We take freshers and then we train them and then we absorb them. That is what the way we are doing. But honestly, I'll tell you, there is a lot of disruption is now happening. Industry is a little cautious now because I will tell you the AI is disrupting a lot of things. So we are actually, I would say that the new hire is a little bit stopped now. So we are just looking at how the industry will be moving. And but I will request to learn more in if you are looking for specifically in this profession, SaaS and related AI tools, which is very important. So that is what going to come up now. Yeah.
So a biology related degree is required for
yes,
those.
life science is required. So even now the SaaS and all, it is very competitive. Even a life science graduate. Earlier we were looking for masters only. But now a life science graduate with SaaS is highly demanded in the market. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Lavanya. I have one question regarding the career gap. How should someone with career gap can address it on their resume or in interviews?
No, she has somebody having a career gap, how they can be put that across in the resume.
Be honest. That is all. See, already she answered that question actually. Be genuine and be honest with your CVs. There is no problem in saying that there is a career gap. There will be definitely a reason for a person. And we know that how it is happening, why it is happening. So my answer is, as she has already answered, that be genuine. And what is the reason for the career gap? Sometimes it happens. People are maybe some are looking for highly competitive examination like civil service, and or sometimes they may lose there and they are coming back. You say that I was for this, I was preparing for the IAS civil examination, so then I didn't get that. It's a very genuine answer. So be genuine. That is the only answer for that one, career gap. Yeah.
May I also add, if you have a career gap, there is a EY, normally they used to hire back people with career So last year through us, I think they have done 186, I believe, that many exclusive women employees with career gap they have hired back. Likewise, ICT Academy also help in terms of doing that. They run these programs exclusively for UI to get them hired. So what I'm trying to suggest is this is not about the degree. You might have done that BTech or something maybe 10 years back, but hiring is actually based on the skill sets you have now. So if you really acquire a particular skill sets which is really need for a company who needs to be hired, through ICT Academy you can definitely get you placed. This has been happening. So don't worry about that if somebody has something like that, a career gap or something. If you have a relevant skill set you have learned on the course of time, can be done. And through NASCOM, we have something called Women Back to Work, W2RT kind of a programs. So what we do is we run a cohort. So certain things it's like and women they go for maternity leave and come back. They may not have maybe in 6 months now. That maybe 6 months maternity leave or something happens in technology would have been shifted by that time. So small companies may not be having a buddy to help them. Like Tata, like say they will be having a buddy who will handhold that person to get to the next level. Maybe what she have missed in the last 6 months, that is there. So what NASCOM does is we will have that buddy through the support of TCS and large IT companies. We will have a mentor to these people who are with career gap or these sort of things. We'll help them. We will use the lab facilities of TCS or Wipro or large companies, and we will enable them to shift to the career. So these things are available. Why you are actually missing these things is you are not getting into the circle of that peer group things happening in. Good, you have been part of ICT Academy. They will be knowing you. Reach out or post these questions in circles like the GDG groups or the things which I have told you, like the technical group. They will definitely guide you also. So thanks.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Shanika. Will a candidate with 0 years of experience and 3 years of experience will be evaluated with same parameters for the job requirement of 0 to 3 years experience?
Would you like to take it? Would you like me to
Sharika, right?
Shanika,
right. What do you think?
I don't know.
Instinctive answer. What do you think is, if you had to guess an answer, what do you think?
I think I'm a fresher. I'm a newly graduated student, so I have less knowledge compared to a 3 years experienced person. So that's why I have.
There's your answer. So 0 to 3, while the resume or say the job description might be 0 to 3, there are a couple of factors which would play. One, you're a fresher, but have you done something in a project in your college that showcases your skills? That's there. Sometimes the company requirement would be that I need somebody with experience. The experience might be handling a customer, having had a project under pressure. It depends on these factors. If you're able to showcase your skills in the project, during your course, that's definitely not going to keep you back. A company that declares 0 to 3, anybody can apply, generally means we are looking for people who have all the skills in place, potential to work on them, that's also there. Having said that, there is a 2-year-old person who can showcase success stories, challenges, and the person has overcome. Probably the preference would be the person with 2 years, but I don't believe it is just the years. It's how you showcase it in your resume, how you come across in the interview. Experience definitely carries a weightage, but I can say I'm experienced for 10 years, and if I'm still unable to showcase a skill which is trending, one advantage you have over somebody who has 3 years would be you will probably be updated on the technology better if the other person's been happy on the job and not searching around. That's something that's very real. Right? So don't look at that as a problem that will hold you back. Go ahead and check what's stopping you from trying out. Right?
Any more questions?
Hi, I'm Devi. I joined here for. I'm planning to join here for data science program. So some of my people in my circle told me that it's just very hard to get into a job without experience in a data science industry. It's very hard to get a job as a fresher in a data science industry. So can you please specify why, and is there anything like that? Is there like that?
Like to address the data science point?
Yeah, data science, I don't think so, because we have an opportunity for the data science. People are there. Data science is something that all the industry is now looking for. So I don't think so. That's a wrong perception, I think. So because data science is something that very much in demand now. Everywhere it is data, and the data is flowing, and we need people to analyze that one. So maybe, as I said earlier, because of disruptions, there may be, but you will learn the tools, appropriately. You learn the tools, which is like AI and all those things. How it is going to. Because of that disruptions, maybe some kind of stoppage may be there, but I don't think so, because data is something required. If you are sending a rocket also, you require that. So it's very important.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, participants, for your active participation. Let's now take a moment to celebrate achievements and perseverance.
We are proud to recognize the placed candidates who have secured their entry into professional world through dedication and determination. Let's give them a thunderous round of applause as they receive their awards. Firstly, Ashwin Tulsi R, placed in Armens. Shiny A, placed in Jishnu India. To Shana Yasin S, placed in Shell Square Softwares. Next, Kulsum Bai, placed in EY.
And now, as a token of gratitude, we have a small gift to the panelists. So please join me in welcoming Murali sir, Riji sir, Head of Knowledge, Srikumar sir, Head of Retail Operations, onto the stage to do the honors. To formally conclude the proceedings, I invite Mr. Anjit A.S., DS ICTAK participant, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Well, thank you, Nitish, for that warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. As we come close to this insightful and inspiring edition of AspireX, Inspiring Growth and Transformation, it is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of all the participants and the organizing team. First and foremost, our sincere gratitude goes to Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, our CEO, ICTAK, for setting the tone of the event with his powerful keynote address and continued commitment to nurturing industry-ready talent. To our eminent panelists, Mr. Vinod Narayanan, Ms. Dainu R, Kuruvilla, and Mr. Sujith Unni, thank you for sharing your invaluable experiences, practical wisdom, and words of motivation. Your insights into leadership, communication, and personal growth have truly sparked new perspective among us. A big thank you to our moderator, Mr. Jishnu Unni, for facilitating the discussion so smoothly and engagingly. Your guidance helped to connect the panelists' thoughts with the audience seamlessly. To all the placed candidates who are recognized today, congratulations. May your professional journeys be filled with growth and excellence. A special word of appreciation to Mr. Arjun J for the warm welcome, and to Mr. Nitish Rajas, our MC, for leading us to the event with such poise and professionalism. To the ICT Academy of Kerala team, volunteers, technical crew, and the wonderful staff at Travancore Hall, thank you for the tireless effort in making this event a success. And finally, to each one of you, the audience, Thank you for being present, attentive, and engaged. Your participation made AspireX truly come alive. Let us take the inspiration and insights we gained today and turn them into meaningful actions in our careers and lives. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you once again and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.